Good Tuesday morning as we give you a look here over in the Keystone area off of I-65. You still see some puddling here and some deeper gaps of water from the severe weather that we had. And now back to bitter cold.
Yeah, looking at Emerson Ave here because I see a lot of lights, and I don't know if this is not the area that you were talking about a little bit earlier, Lindsay, where we had some traffic troubles, but we have been talking about ponding water, standing water. Yesterday got some dry time to hopefully help with that, and rain's not coming down this morning, but it's bitter cold that's sticking around for us, Lindsay.
That's right. What you're just looking at is actually a construction zone on 465. So we're going to hit on that in your traffic update here in a minute. Got to talk about these temperatures outside, though. This is what it feels like outside right now. Check it out, 14 is that current wind chill temperature in Muncie. So that means you go outside and perhaps you lost your gloves for the season already. Well, that exposed skin is going to react as if it's 14 degrees. So that could quickly lead to some issues out there this morning. 16 the wind chill in Indy. Definitely want to layer up this morning as we've got this ongoing freeze warning, a hard freeze ongoing right now. That will be in effect through 10 a.m. Temperatures now really across the board falling well into the 20s at this point. 27 in Indy, it's 25 in Muncie. We're going to see temperatures remaining below the freezing mark until about 10 o'clock in the morning. Once we get past that, we will see a warming trend. The sun's going to look nice today. It'll be a pretty day. Going to be breezy one, though, with that northerly wind component, just keeping that chill to the air and really keeping these temperatures from warming up all that much. We're going to go 45 for a high here in Indy. That number well below the average, which is in the low 60s at this point in the season. 46, the forecast high for our friends in Shelbyville, and we're headed to 42 in Richmond. Now, today's going to be a dry, sunny day, but as we get into tomorrow, a warm front's going to lift in. That brings our next rain chance, primarily after the lunch hour, with some scattered rain continuing into Wednesday night and really into Thursday as well. We'll talk more about that timeline and rainfall potential coming up. But at 6:02, we'll get you out to the traffic center because we're following a couple of issues right now. One is an overturned semi on 65 southbound. This happened just after 4 o'clock this morning. So we are starting to see some travel lanes impacted by that, as well as some stop and go traffic leading up to where that Keystone Avenue exit is off of 65. We've also got some construction on 465 closing the ramps to I-65 southbound. I want to show you what a couple of these areas look like. So this is that Keystone exit off of 65. You can see kind of on the right-hand side of your screen. We've got some emergency vehicles still out there and some tow trucks trying to clear that scene. It does look like we are starting to clear this as well. This is some good news. This is reopening ahead of schedule here. Those ramps to 65 southbound off of 465. We will keep you posted when everything reopens. Guys?
Lindsay, thank you. I want to show you some video this morning after days of that significant rainfall. Lindsay's talking about several communities across the state really still just recovering from high water.
So in the meantime, other communities are dealing with the aftermath of storm damage. So now, nearly a week after tornadoes damaged homes and businesses in the city of Carmel, city leaders are working to find some long-term recovery solutions.
Yeah, Matthew Foltz is in the studio this morning with how Carmel plans to improve preparedness, really just kind of for the next storm, right?
Yeah, that's right. To start this process and all of this, city leaders in Carmel are now waiving city fees for home and businesses that were damaged by last week's severe storm. So they approved the plan during an emergency meeting last night. It's called CHAMP, or the Carmel Helping and Mitigating Program. Right now, city officials tell us that 54 homes and 13 businesses were impacted from the storm. Carmel Vice President Matthew Snyder says there's never really been an emergency plan in place for Carmel, so now he believes this is the first step in the right direction.
When an event triggers emergency relief, this is what we do. And that is what I'm looking forward to doing. I'd like to fund it. I think the council is on board with setting a real structure so that we're not guessing when the next event comes through.
Now, the city is currently under a local disaster emergency declaration until Thursday as many continue to clean up in the community. Meanwhile, they still want to hear feedback from you as they build out this long-term plan. So some good news is we do know that 2 businesses will be reopening today to customers. However, city leaders still worried there may be some challenges down the road. We'll break some of that down coming up at 5:30.
All right. The city still has to be pretty fortunate the way they came out of the storm. Thanks, Matthew.
Well, right now, drivers near Columbus are driving a little slower this morning as they head out, as police hope that portions of State Road 46 can finally reopen in some spots for warning commuters. Right now, the exit ramp is still filled with water. As you can see here, why drivers have to find a new route around. It is the main stretch through the city, though, so it makes it really hard to get around and risky to do that, too. But that risk didn't stop some people from trying. The sheriff says that they have had to rescue at least 15 people from water rescues.
Don't take a chance. If the road's closed, don't drive through it. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your vehicle, and most definitely it's not worth losing your life for.
And to crack down, law enforcement says they have issued dozens of tickets for people who are ignoring those road closure signs.
Well, right now over on WTHR Plus, you can take a look at Hoosiers recovering from last week's tornadoes and the following flooding. You can watch that on demand. Just download the app on your TV and stream the special free of charge. Well, coming up on 6:06 this morning, we're looking to see if charges have been filed against a 15-year-old in connection with a triple shooting. He's accused of hurting also accused of hurting a third person.
This happened Sunday night on Indy's near northwest side. That's where police responded to West 27th near North Harding Street. Investigators say they found 3 people at the scene, one of them dead. Another later died at the hospital, and we know the youngest victim was just 14 years old.
A third victim is expected to survive, but right now we've reached out to police to find out what led up to this shooting. We understand that they believe it had something to do with a gun sale that led to an argument. We'll, of course, pass along any newest information we learn in the case.
Well, this morning, 2 18-year-olds are under arrest accused of a double shooting on Indy's near northeast side. This one happened around 1 o'clock Sunday morning near Roosevelt Avenue and I-70. So we do have some pictures that Metro Police sent us from the scene. The teens are accused of firing shots from a Dodge Avenger into another car. An officer in the area heard those shots, which led to a brief chase for police. Officers did detain the driver and the passenger, who they say tried to run away. Investigators said they also found a gun there on the scene around the place that detained the passenger, and another gun in the car, saying that one of those guns was stolen. Now, police later learned that the 2 gunshot victims, who they believe were shot during this incident, actually walked into a local hospital. Doctors have since released one of the victims. They kept the other at the hospital, saying that she was stable so far.
Well, this morning, roads are still closed on the east side after that train derailment sent 6 cars crashing to the road below.
Yeah, so we drove by that area to check about an hour ago, and that derailment and cleanup efforts to see how it's going so far. But we know it caused so many issues for neighbors and businesses in that area. So here's why. Here's the aftermath at Southeastern Avenue and South Sherman Drive, which is right next to the Community Justice Campus. According to CSX, they operate this train. This happened Sunday evening.
So we know in all 6 cars derailed. 5 of them fell from the overpass there. So according to the company, the bridge will need repair work, but crews are not worried, they say, about the structural integrity of that bridge. We also talked with someone who works nearby at an auto parts store, and he says cleanup work is really kind of impacting his business.
Business has been slow all morning. It's frustrating, you know what I mean? It's like I said, we make money on a daily basis. We're losing thousands and thousands a day per hour, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, it's stressing, that's for sure.
Now, really good news here. No crew members or residents in that area were injured from the derailment.
Could have been a lot worse with them falling over that bridge like that. This morning, we are learning of the first lab-confirmed case of measles in Indiana this year, reported by the Indiana Department of Health. The case involves an unvaccinated child in Allen County. And now state and local health officials are working to find out if there are more cases. We're told that that child is stable and recovering. But according to the State Department of Health, this is significant because measles is so easily spread that a single case is considered an outbreak.
Well, Eli Lilly is now suing an Indianapolis-based weight loss clinic, claiming that business is misleading patients about the drugs they're selling. In this lawsuit, Lilly accuses Premier Weight Loss of selling altered versions of the company's weight loss drugs, Zepbound and Mounjaro. Lilly alleges Premier Weight Loss is falsely marketing Lilly's products as personalized versions of the drug. turning people towards products which are maybe not approved by the FDA. Eli Lilly officials released a statement saying, quote, "We will continue to take action to stop these illegal actors and urgently call on regulators and law enforcement to do the same."
While we have had some wild weather over the past week, luckily we haven't been talking about any snow. But we are going to talk about it this morning because you remember back in January we were hit with those back-to-back snowstorms.
Yes,
some streets, of course we do. We remember that. And a lot of you do too, because some streets were plowed, but some of your streets weren't. In fact, some were left untouched for days. And that's because the city's snow removal policy didn't include more than 1,000 neighborhood streets and roads. So the City County Council voted last night unanimously to change that plan. This updated snow removal ordinance will now prioritize plowing streets near schools and township buildings at 2 inches of snowfall. So residential streets will be plowed when there's 4 inches of snow on the ground.
We heard constituent concerns across the board. We took it, we listened.
We did act on it, we did advocate for them, and we did it together as a team.
So next, the Public Works Committee is presenting their funding plan for the upcoming snow fight for the upcoming year in October.